Telegraph to kick off now. Biden might soon be dropping out of the race, maybe even the human race, Lewis.
Yeah, this is, I was going to say good news, because we don't even know what kind of news. Biden's seriously considering leaving election race. He didn't say he's seriously considering. He's out there and fighting.
Speculation, isn't it?
It's speculation. It's the Times, the New York Times, which is one of those newspapers, one of those things that seems like it's amazing, but is just basically garbage now.
Yeah.
I would say. I hate to say it. I read the New York Times since I was 7 years old. It was the family newspaper, so I believed it. I believed every single word.
It is thriving commercially again after Donald Trump. He actually saved it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did save it, yeah.
But I know what you mean. Apparently, the day after the debate, which of course everyone saw, and it was humiliating. It was just like a car crash doesn't even do it justice. It was like somebody had never seen anything like that before. Three separate editorials in the New York Times the following day, three of their separate high-ranking political commentators demanding that Biden withdraw. Yeah. So, I mean, they've completely thrown in their, thrown their weight behind that idea now. They cannot get behind him. If he is still in the race in November, they cannot conceivably backtrack on that.
Yes, they can. They can say, hey, we don't like him, but we're going to have him. The point is, it's not their business who is running for president. He ran for president. He got chosen by his party or going to be chosen by his party. They can't just say, we don't, back out. And they did the same thing with Richard Nixon what do you... I don't mean to...
History will be kind to Richard Nixon. What do you think, Count?
I wasn't born when Richard Nixon was in power, I don't believe.
Let's park Nixon for one moment. But do you think that Biden... There was a suggestion, I think, that it was understood Biden would stand for a single term to defeat Trump, to get rid of him, and then while the Democrats regrouped, as it were.
It was definitely silly to make him run again, because the guy's... not trying to be very mean, his brain doesn't work. It feels just sad now, wheeling him out there, and he's probably pumped full of all kinds of drugs or something.
People like you and I, who spend far too much of our lives on Twitter, we've seen the evidence for at least a couple of years, right? It seems like half the world was shocked by this, as if they hadn't been paying attention, or they were...
No, I think a lot of people were very, very concerned that a man who doesn't really know where he is half the time is in charge of the big red button. That made people a little bit concerned. He's not fit to stand for president.
But it's not, he is fit to stand.
No, he's not.
He is totally fit to stand because he's not the one making the decisions. His wife is making the decisions, or Barack Obama is making decisions. This is why they don't want him, because it's basically exposed the American political system as a joke. That he's not.
So you think they're actually more comfortable with a man who is clearly just a figurehead, a puppet of
very, very malleable. Like, you could tell him anything. You could just set a bit of paper in front of him and go sign that. And
so I mean, 9 times out of 10, I would agree on the day-to-day running of the country. It probably doesn't matter. To be honest, it probably doesn't even matter that much. If like half of the top, it's an enormous machine of government and all the checks and balances. But there are one or two responsibilities the president does literally have, commander-in-chief, in terms of war, in terms of really making the big calls on foreign policy, like if China overnight move into Taiwan. That actually does come down to Biden.
And he will get one of his daily calls from Barack Obama, who's going to say, OK, this is the time you go for it.
Or rather, Jill will.
That's where they set the bit of paper in front of him and go, sign this.
Sign this. That's why it's not that important. But the most important thing, important thing is the fact is that they haven't said that Barack Obama is team left world, is the team world guy.